Craig Heppell, a big good morning to you. Thanks for hanging about.
Oh, hanging about? Oh, it's actually a skill of mine.
How are you?
Mate, I'm going great. I'm feeling refreshed and recharged, ready to go after a few weeks off.
Excellent. It's a case of grab the popcorn. There's a bit going on around the place this week, isn't there?
Mate, it's on for young and old. There you go, mate. You had a little break too.
I did, yes. Yeah? They're hard to remember. You forget them easy,
You
don't you?
do quick. Yeah, I've only been back a few days and it feels like an eternity.
Yeah, okay.
But we're going to talk about how far has the local market fallen, or has it? But first of all, we're talking about breaks, taking a break, a holiday, a vacation, whatever you want to call it. It should be seen as an opportunity to reset, relax, empty your mind, the myriad of work and day-to-day tasks that consume us. Personally, the majority of breaks we take are spent doing sweet FA.
You know, and you forget that, don't you? 2 weeks leave, you've got to cram in a holiday somewhere or do as much as you can around the house. Just sit down for a while. Just lurk.
Just lurk.
Yeah.
Just let your body and mind empty. And in those moments of sunshine, swimming and silence comes the creativity and innovation I crave and want to unleash when I return to the battlefield. Sure, I take notes, devise strategies while slapping around, but it's exciting because my mind is freed up with no distractions, except for the next mango daiquiri on the way.
5 o'clock somewhere.
I had a couple of them.
You did.
Anyway, we won't go into it. Now, I'll give you an example. Whilst working on Matan one sizzling hot afternoon, Karen mentioned the next move financial snapshot that we'd been working on for our clients, our home sellers, and that's before we took a break. It needed some tweaking, but before we left, we're at capacity, creating and finalising deals, so it was all hands on deck. Now, this undistracted poolside chat crystallised this vital tool for our clients. And now, I made a few notes, and as soon as we got back, the financial snapshot was ready to go. Already in just a few days, we've provided this and run through the snapshot with at least 3 clients. And one of them, let's call her Sharon, saying that without it, she could never have set her plan in motion of selling and buying a block of land to build on. So she was so grateful for it. So taking regular breaks is vital for mental well-being and finding solutions to the big and little problems we can't seem to get our heads around. So, of course, during our holiday, I couldn't help myself taking cheeky glances at the local and national property trends and see how the market was behaving. And it was going just as I'd envisioned.
Right.
Yeah, buyers continuing their cautious approach, especially in the higher price brackets. Sales volumes are trending downwards, but generally remaining healthy in the budget end of the market. Now, some of the reports I was seeing from the mainland city markets, particularly Sydney and Melbourne, in some areas, sales volumes are down around 25% from where they were about, let's say, 3 to 4 months ago.
That was kind of tipped, though, wasn't it?
It was tipped as soon as the budget come out.
Yeah.
As soon as the budget come out, but Jim Chalmers, he said, no, it wouldn't be that dim.
What about locally?
Here on the northwest, sales volumes are down, but only slightly. Somewhere around that, we'll say 5 to 10% mark. That's volumes. That's number of properties being sold. So, Lee, I think we need to take a deep dive into the most recent property stats so we can get a much clearer picture of what's happening here.
This is one of my favourite parts of these segments.
Ooh, is it?
Yeah,
you like your numbers?
I do, and I like to see what's changed and what hasn't.
And, mate, I got a big surprise when I dove in the last couple of days.
What's Burnie looking like?
Burnie, now the number of sales dropped 10.3% since November. The median price is now 544,000. That's 544,000. Days on market 26. The 1 year rise has been 18.7%, and the 5 year rise has been 64.4%. Now stock on market is 5.29%. There's a little bit of stock on the market at Burnie, and here's a number that I think we should all take note of. Vendor discounts. That's how much a vendor discounts from the original list price to what they sell for across the board. And the vendor discount in Burnie is 3.66%, which is up around 20%. So they're having to meet the market there.
Yeah, wow.
Now, Penguin, number of sales dropped 12%. That's November to March, but then bounced back around April. So number of sales has bounced back in Penguin. Median is 690,000. Days on market, 36. The 1 year rise, 10.4%. The 5 year rise, 48.2%. Stock on market, 6.58%. We're getting towards that, beyond that 7% on market. So there's a bit of stock on market in Penguin. Vendor discount is now at 3.27%, which is up a fair bit from about 6 months ago. Now, West Ulverstone, the number of sales dropped about 9% since November, but the median price is 611,000 in West Ulverstone. Days on market, 22.
Wow, they're being snapped up quick, aren't they?
They are, yeah. Wait till you see a couple of others, but 22 days is pretty quick. The last year, gone up 20.6%. Last 5 years, 65%. Stock on market is down a bit. It's down to about 4.8%. So there's not a lot of stock there in West Ulverstone, hence the prices have risen a bit.
Are they discounting there?
Yes, they're discounting because people are heading for the sky, and the vendor discount's nearly 5%. That's up 15%.
Okay.
So don't get too greedy, West Ulverstone. You'll still sell for a good price.
What about further in the centre of town?
Let's go into Ulverstone. Number of sales are down around 8%. Median price, 620,000. Days on market a little longer, 39. The 1 year rise, 16.2%. The 5 year rise, 60.1%. Stock on market, that's down a bit too. That's 4.48%. And the vendor discount is 3%, and that's risen as well. So, once again, vendors are having to meet the market after their initial list price.
Now, the one that's been really interesting to watch over the last few years is Turner's Beach. That kind of just went pa-chung.
It did, and it continues to pa-chung.
Okay.
For the highest median price in the area, which is 774,000, the number of sales actually rose there, 3.2%. Okay. Days on market, 40. 1 year rise, 10.7%. 5 year rise, 44.4%. Stock on market, there's a fair bit of stock on market. It's over 7%, 7.24. That's up 41%. Now, vendor discounts is the key, 4.33%. It's up 35%. So, once again, reaching for the sky but having to come and meet the market.
And you've been wearing your monocle, particularly for Devonport these last few months too.
Mate, Devonport and East Devonport, once again, comes from mainland investors and buyers agents. They're still floating around. So the number of sales are up 7.4% in Devonport. Median price now at $5.95. Days on market, 16. 16 days.
Well, I thought 22 was tight. Okay.
Yeah. 1 year rise, 16.2%. 5 year rise, 58.6%. Stock on market is low, 3.72. So that means they're moving quick. And the vendor discount's only around 2.8%.
Yeah, right.
So they're getting close to ask, initial asking price.
What about over the river?
East Devonport, hold on to your hats. Sales are down there a little bit at 12%, but now the median is 536K. I've got numbers everywhere. We'll go back to that.
Daiquiri before you got here.
I should have had 4. The median is 536,000 there in East Devonport. Days on market, around the average, 34%. 1 year rise, 20.3%. And 5 year rise, 64.8%. Stock on market is reasonably low at 3.61, and vendor discount is only 1.84.
Oh, nothing.
So they're getting their prices too. So the median price across the northwest has crept up on average to 625,000. But as I said, sales volumes are down around 5 to 10%. So this means buyers are still reasonably confident in the budget end of the market, but home sellers are listening a bit too hard to mainstream media and believe their properties have dropped significantly in value.
Yeah, right. And I suppose that was the alarm bells,
No,
wasn't
they
it?
haven't. Here on the northwest, they have not dropped off. Sales volume, yes, but not prices. The median price has risen slightly in the last 3 months. And yes, price growth has slowed, but it's definitely not turned south. The Northwest is holding its own due to affordability and lifestyle opportunities. Realistic sellers are getting great prices. Smart buyers are picking up value for money properties. June, July can be notoriously patchy, so the real proof for buyer demand will come from August onwards. So if you're looking at selling, don't be swayed by pessimistic media. The best time to sell is when you're ready.
Good advice. And for some more, have you got your eye on a house of the week this
Mate,
week?
house of the week, it's a little ripper. 16 Richardson Street, West Ulverstone. It's 2-bed, 1 bath, 1 garage, a brick block low-set home on 706 square metres. It's tucked away in a beaut little no-through road.
It's a nice little, neat as a pin.
It is.
Nice little
It's
joint.
a great first home or investment. Now, it's priced to sell at offers from $489,000.
Your phone's going to blow up in a tick.
It already has started, to be quite, and that's just from social media.
Yep.
Yep. And you heard right. That's from $489,000. It's open this Saturday, 11th of July at 11 a.m. If you're there, you're a chance. Don't hold off.
How do we find out more?
Well, you want to know more about 16 Richardson Street, or you're looking for expert guidance about what this market's really up to? We're thinking about selling. We provide an effective, hassle-free and affordable way to sell your home for more in a reasonable time that's worked for hundreds of people just like you. Get in touch. Ulverstone Real Estate, that's the website, or Facebook, Ulverstone Property Sales, or put this number in your phone now, 0400 180 515.
That's 0400 180 515.
Oh, you sound better than I do.
See you next week.
See you, mate.